Hi, I'm Ronnie from Ronny's Garage. Welcome to our monthly tech meet for the Rolls-Royce Owners Club of Southern California. And we will be overhauling the rear calipers for an 85 Corniche. Right there.
Well, you reminded me of that last time trying to get that.
Yeah.
Well, he gave
Well, if you've got it off.
He gave me a disclaimer, don't do it yourself. The rears are not a do-it-yourself job.
And it's not like I'm trying to get you for business.
I see it now.
It's no. It's just prudent.
No, you really need a lift to get underneath the part and disassemble
Well,
this.
plus then if the part's missing, like how would you know?
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Yeah,
Ask Ronnie.
there you go. Give a call.
Don't call me. I don't answer the phone during the day hardly at all.
What's
I get too many
your
solicited.
consultant rate?
Send him an email. Tell him your
Yeah, emails. I answer all emails, right, Steve?
Yeah.
any email from
like I
California
said.
he charges. Out of state it's free.
Just remember to leave your $50 at the door when you leave today.
You're damn right.
I do this all for the club. Come on now.
We appreciate it very much.
That's nice. Thank you.
Well, the main thing is
Okay, you can go through all the effort of cleaning all this up spotless, which is not a bad idea. I'm not doing it now, first of all, because we're doing this. Second of all, because I'm 99.9% sure I won't have any problems with this. I'll show you a problem I ran into taking one of the calipers off, which will happen after this one's all together. I'll show you that. As you can see, I'm focusing mostly on just covering up that metal there, which, as you push the piston in, is going to push some lubricant down with it.
And there's no issue with it mixing in with
No, it's compatible. You won't have any problems. There we go. Boy, that's so nice. Okay.
that's the problem.
a little bit there, slips right in. Those boots have a little lift down there.
It's almost like they're made for it. I go through a lot of gloves. Oh, Jesus. There we go. What was I talking about?
Oh, it didn't look like it was seated.
Honestly. Look at that. I'm just really messing it all up here. Probably got a little bit of extra lube there where it didn't belong. Stay. Stay. Stay.
Couldn't you have put it on the thing piston first?
It doesn't go on
the thing down.
This ring goes over the boot on the outside, not over
But
the
it's being
piston.
held against that piston, right?
No, it's being held against this housing. The piston,
it's
this
not
just
too
flows. The piston's in the center. Okay. Now let's get this other parking brake pad.
Is there ever an issue with those metal rings popping off?
This has a different spring. Once you get it all together,
Yeah.
sometimes. Now, as you can see, this one has a much bigger spring.
I grew up near Cincinnati, you know, it was every day like that.
Oh, I've been to, what was it? Cincinnati. I've been to Ohio. Where was it? Anyways, I went there once and it was miserable. Thunder showers every day. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm gonna try to do this without biting myself. There we go. See the difference in size on that? I think because this is also a return spring. Now, make sure we get the right pad on there. Do that right? Yeah. Piece of cake. All right. Now we'll clamp this side back in. Put our extra passage O-rings on there. A little splooge on there. That's just so the O-ring doesn't get caught and pinched. I also like to put some anti-seize on these. Mostly because these cars are old. And just don't go crazy. I just put a little dab is all I do. You don't want to get this on any of the braking surfaces or any of the rubber. Or a shirt. That's a pretty white shirt like yours. I can't wear white. I just look at it and it gets dirty.
You're just not pure enough.
What is that stuff you put on?
Anti-seize. Anti-seize lubricant, and it's for nuts and bolts and stuff like that.
So that means this to be easier to take the bolt out later. Is that what the idea is?
And then in 20 years when it has to be done again, hopefully.
Should have modified lug nuts too.
That's not recommended.
Really?
No. There's a lot of controversy over lug nuts. But they don't recommend any grease on it. The rolls on the alloy wheels, which I don't have a car in here, you have to grease the hubs because the alloy wheel against the steel hub causes corrosion, and sometimes you have to bang them with a hammer to get them off. And what I'm doing, I'm not tightening them yet because I want to make sure they're all centered and ready to go, and I will just... I do not know what the torque is, but it's
I can look it up for you.
You look it up and post it, will you? Now we got to put the parking brake back on, pin.
Do you have those little guys that were whatever those tines?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hunt those down, but I'll do that later. So what you do is you go ahead and so I'll put a cotter pin in there. Any questions now? This is essentially done here until I put these things in.
That's great.
Any questions? I want to show you the problem I ran into on the other one, taking it apart. Excuse me real quick. The mineral oil cars have extra brake lines. Normally there is, to connect two of the passages, this goes to the port. Oh, it's way out here. There we go. So this goes over the caliper like this. Now, on a brake fluid car, you don't have to take this apart. But on a mineral oil car, there's this big cage right here that the trailing arm has. It has this line that bolts to the cage. It has, since this big cage is around, this is the bleeder for the lower piston. They have to make the bleeder remote. Okay, so that bolts on another part, and this, and then it has the main lines coming from the car. One goes in here with an adapter fitting, which you have to take off to get the caliper off. And then another one comes down here. So what happened is this one 7/16 nut, even with a tubing wrench, was just round. And which on a brake fluid car is not a big deal. I can get a pair of vice grips on it. I can usually break it loose, but there was no way to access it. So I had to take a chisel and just chew. And I'm going to have to make a new brake line for it. So that's why we're not going to complete all the calipers today. But this line right here is the culprit. So that's one of the things that in my business, I bid jobs. So I charge so many hours to do this job. A lot of guys like to charge extra for this, but for me, it's just part of the deal, unless it turns into a total can of worms.
Ronnie, is this the first time this has been performed on this car? Is it?
From the rounded bolt and the missing bolts here, I don't think so.
What is the frequency that one might?
Factory wants you to do it every 10 years.
Okay.
So the car's an 85, it's 30 years old. It's been done once, I would guess, at least.
Okay.
That's it? Cool. Done deal. Thanks. Thanks to Steve for doing this video.